Hello my dear students, welcome back. What a joy to see you. How was the quiz? Good. I'm so happy to hear this. You know, Mr. Max so proud of you because here you do your quiz and then you come and join to learn more, and that's what makes you special. Okay, well, in this sub lesson we're going to learn about representation and interpretation of data. In previous sub lesson, what we did, we collected the data, we recorded the data, and we organized the data. So we created what? The frequency table. Now we're going to take that frequency table and then we're going to represent. In other words, we're going to display in a form of a diagram. Now, why do we need this diagram or graph? Now, the purpose of having this graph or diagram, it presents the data in such a way that we can understand and interpret clearly. Now, let's say, for example, when you look at a graph, you can quickly make a comparison and also can see the trend of the data. Alright, my dear students, let's talk about pictogram. Okay, so let's learn pictogram and then we'll go to the bar chart, and then finally we'll learn about line graph. Okay, so what is pictogram? Now, in order for me to construct a pictogram on the board, I will need a frequency table. So I need the data, okay, to draw the pictogram. Now, let's do this. Let's collect a data. Okay, let's say you belong to a society. In that society, you got 30 students. All right, and mix of different ages. We got 15 and then 16, 17 and 18. So there are four categories, okay, 15, 16, 17 and 18. And then we want to find out of the 15, 16, 17 and 18, how many has cell phones, handphones. All right, okay, Mr. Max is going to create the frequency table, and then we will construct a pictogram. All right, I'll be back with you in a few seconds. Alright, my dear students, Mr. Mac got the frequency table on the board. Okay, now we're going to take this data, this frequencies in this board, and we're going to construct a pictogram. Now, before that, let's understand the frequency that was given. Alright, so we know that in the society there are how many students? 30 students. So we surveyed these 30 students. Okay, we want to find out what their age is and do they own a handphone. And out of that 30 students that we interviewed, 15 of them, okay, owns handphones, and then we broke that 15 based on their ages. Okay, then we asked, those are 15 years old, we found the 4 of them owns handphones, and then 16 years old, 3 of them, 17, 3, 18, 5. See that? So now we got a frequency for each age group. So 15 is 4, 16 is 3, and 17 is 3, 18 is 5, and we're going to interpret. Okay, in other words, we're going to take this data and then we're going to display that in a form of a pictogram. Okay, so now we're going to take this frequency and then construct a pictogram. All right, so in order for Mr. Mac to construct a pictogram, I'll need a straight edge. All right, so first we're going to create two axes, the x-axis and y-axis. In other words, the horizontal and the vertical line. Okay, so let's start with the horizontal line. Okay, so I'm going to create an horizontal line and then a vertical line. Okay, now there is a two type of pictogram that you can create. One is a horizontal pictogram and another one is a vertical pictogram. Now, what's the difference between horizontal and vertical? Now, when you have a horizontal pictogram, all the data are lined up horizontally. When you have a vertical pictogram, all the data are lined up vertically. Okay, so let's start with a vertical pictogram. Okay, so we're going to start with the vertical. All right, this is going to be a vertical pictograms. Okay, so we're going to start with the vertical pictogram. So when you have vertical, the data is going to be vertical. So in other words, I'm going to create columns. All right, okay, for each category. So there are how many categories? 4 categories, because we got 15, 16, 17 and 18. So that means I'm going to create 4 columns. All right, so let's do that. Let's create 4 columns. Okay, this is going to be the first one, and that's for 15, and this is going to be second one for 16, And then this is for third one, which is 17. And this is the fourth one, which is the 18. Okay, so then we got to label it. Very important, you got to label it. Okay, and you know this is going to be for 15, 16, 17 and 18. Okay, and what they represent? Age. All right, that's the age. Okay, so we can just put an age right there. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to start with 15. What is the frequency for 15 age? 4. There are 4 students who has handphone. Okay, who have handphone at the age of 15. Okay, now that's the pictogram. What you want to do is you want to represent the data in the form of picture. So in other words, Mr. Mac got a picture of a phone. See, that is a handphone right there. So now we got 4 is a frequency. That means we're going to put 4 handphones here. And then for 16 there are 3. Then I'm going to put 3 handphones. 17 also 3. I'm going to put 3 handphones. And then 18 got 5. I put 5 handphones. That's each handphone represent 1 student. So I have to tell the scale. The scale is for each phone equals to 1 student. So that way when you look at it, 1, 2, 3, 4, that means you know there's a 4 student at the age of 15 that have handphones. Okay, and then 3 students and 3 students at the age of 16 that have handphones. Okay, and 17 will be 3 students. 18 will be 5 students. All right. So Mr. Max is going to start putting this these pictures on the board. Okay. So let's do that. That's going to be exciting. Okay. Alright, my dear student, yeah it is. Alright, now look at this. On age of 15 there are 4 students. Now remember one more thing Mr. Mac forgot to do, which is what I got to tell each phone represent. Very important. So I got to put one more. Okay, now that's important. Alright, so I take this one picture and then I put it, let's put a tape to it. Okay, so let's put a tape and then I have to tape it right here, and then I say equals to 1 student. All right, that means this one picture right here represent 1 student. So when I see it for 15 years old, how many students uses handphone? 1, 2, 3, 4. How about 16? 1, 2, 3. 17? 1, 2, 3. 18? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See that? So the pictogram gives you the image, the picture. That's why you call that pictogram. Alright, now look at that. When you look at this pictogram, if I ask you what is the highest frequency, the highest frequency is right there. Oops, the highest frequency is right here, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See that? And what is the lowest frequency, which is 3, even though there's 2 ages that's sharing the lowest frequency, but you only say the 3. Okay, if I ask you the lowest frequency is age, okay, then you will say 16 and 17. The highest frequency is age, okay, then it says 18. Now I ask you what the frequency for 15 years old, okay, which is exactly 4. Alright, then I ask you what's the total number of students that uses phone in that society. Then you count, you add 4 plus 3 is 7, 7 plus 3 is 10, 10 plus 5 is 15. See that? So that's what gives you a better interpretation. Okay, so you, when you look at it, you're able to interpret the data that we collected. That's what this is called. We're displaying those data in a form of pictogram. Now what happens if the number of students, it's bigger? Let's say we take a school. Okay, we want to find out in a school that are students, let's say in that school there's only 15, 16, 17 and 18 years old that goes there. Alright, and we want to find out the number of students. Let's Mr. Mac change the figure now. This time Mr. Mac said there are 40 students, alright, at the age of 15 that uses the exactly cell phone, alright, or handphone. And then 16 age old, there'll be 30 students. 17 will be 30. 18 is 50. Now how do I do that? Well, I represent this by saying instead of 1, I say 10 students. each of that represent 10 students. So that means 1, 2, 3, 4 picture, 4 phones. So how many students? 40 students right there. See that? So this is very important. You got to look at this one right here. All right? Okay, so if I ask you 18, what's the frequency for 18? Very good. 50, not 5, because each of them represent 10. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Okay, so I may not give you this table right here, and I just give you the pictogram and ask you to interpret that. In order for me to create a pictogram, I'll need the data. Now, if the pictogram's already been created, you should be able to interpret this pictogram. Okay, so always look at this. This will be given. So this is like a scale for you. Okay, so that means each phone represent 10 students. Okay, now if I change this and I put a 15, that means each phone, each picture here represent 15 students. So now it be changes 15, 30, 45, 60. See that? And the same thing applies to all of them. Alright? So okay, so let's say we maintain this 10, so it'll be 10, 20, 30, 40. Alright, my dear students. Alright, let Mr. Mac erase the board and do another one more problem. Okay, how about we do this? This time we'll do a hands-on practice. Okay, so we'll do a hands-on practice and I'll be back with you in a few seconds. Alright, my dear students, are you ready for some hands-on practice? I know you are, because you're my dear students. Alright, my dear students, let's see what's Pablo doing. He is ready. Let's call him out. Okay, Pablo, come out, Pablo, bring the worksheet. Our dear students are ready for some hands-on practice. Alright, my dear students, once Pablo hand over the worksheet, now be sure to pause the video, and then once you're done, invite Mr. Mac in so we can work together. Alright, now be sure to do it, okay, because hands-on practice gives you a good understanding what you learned so far that Mr. Mac taught you. Alright, okay, good, have fun. Good. Whoa, Pablo been busy, doesn't he? How was it? You did good? Good job. I'm so proud of you. Well, Mr. Mac should have asked about it, because I know my dear students always do well. Alright, good. Let's do it together, okay? Okay, the first question says, the table below shows the number of chickens sold by a farmer in 5 days, okay? Mr. Mac's already got the table drawn on the board, alright? And then it says, construct a vertical pictogram using a picture of chicken. Alright, and each chicken or each picture represent 50 chickens. See that? Now can you imagine that 200 chickens, if you have to draw, each chickens is 1, that means you have to draw 200 chickens. You don't want to do that. That's why they kind of scaled. Each chickens represent 50. Alright, that means that 200, how many chickens do you represent? Okay, let's do that. How many chickens will that? 200. So in other words, we know that one chicken equals to 50. Okay, the one picture equals to be 50. That means we take 200, we're going to divide that by 50. Okay, which gives us 4. And this one, we take 300, we divide that by 50, which gives us 6. And this one, 150 divided by 50, which gives us 3. And then this one, okay, 250 divided by 50 give us 5. And then this one, 200 divided by 50 gives us 4. So that means this one's going to be 4, and this one's going to be 6, and this one's going to be 3, and this one's going to be 5, and this one's going to be 4. See that? So each chicken represent 50. So that means we're going to put 4 chickens for day 1, 6 chickens for day 2, 3 chickens for day 3, and 5 chickens for day 4, and finally 4 chickens for day 5. Alright? Okay, good. Now let's construct the vertical. That's right, vertical pictogram. So in order to construct vertical pictogram, you will need what? Exactly, a straight edge. Okay, so we're going to put what? First we're going to draw two lines. One is a horizontal and vertical. Right, let's start with that. Okay, one's going to be horizontal line, and then another one's going to be a vertical line. Okay, so we're going to draw a vertical line. Now keep in mind that you got to label the pictogram too. So what shall we label this pictogram? Alright, what the question says. Alright, it says the table below shows the number of chickens sold by a farmer in 5 days. So we can label this as number of chickens sold in 5 days. Okay, in 5 days. See that? So that way you know what this pictogram represents. Otherwise you wouldn't know. Am I right? What is it? It could be anything. It could be, you know. So it's very important. You got to label it. Okay? Number of chickens sold in 5 days. That's what this pictogram represents. Alright? Okay, good. Now once we labeled it, now we're going to create what? Columns. Since we're doing the vertical, we're going to create column. How many columns are we going to create? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because there's a 5 categories, so 5 days. Alright? So we're going to create 5. So let's do 1. Okay, let's do 1 right here. Okay. And then 2, 3, 4, and finally 5. Okay, right there. So we got 5 columns, alright? Because each column represents the day, okay? So this is going to be day 1, and this is going to be day 2, and this is going to be day 3, and this is going to be day 4, and this is going to be day 5, alright? And this represents the days, alright? So we're going to put days. Okay, good. Alright? So now what are we going to do? Now we're going to, you can even draw. You can just draw the picture of the chicken. Or if you're doing it in a computer, get the picture of a chicken from a, you know, clip art, and then just paste them. Alright, in this case, Mr. Mac got a picture of a chicken printed. Alright, so I'm going to start putting for the day 1. How many chickens do I put? 4 chickens, because each chicken represents 50. So 50 times 4 is 200. See, that's how we kind of counted out all this. Alright, so very important. When you're given the table, find out using the scale, find out how many pictures each for each frequency that you have to represent. Alright, so in this case for day 1, how many pictures of chickens we're going to put? 4. Alright, so Mr. Max is going to start putting them up. Alright. Ta-da! Here it is, alright? Okay, let's look at it, okay? Now, day 1, 4 chickens, okay? Now, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, each chicken represents what? 50. So, we got to put that, alright? Very important, okay? So, let's put each chicken's represents. Very important. As part of the graph, you have to explain it that each chickens represent what. So, we put it right here, and then we say that's represent. Let's put it right there. Represents 50 chickens. Okay, so when you look at this and you know that this, each of this is 50, 50, 50. That means 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 times 50 is 200. See that? 200. And then, and day 2, how many chickens did the farmer sold? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is it 6 chickens? No. 6 times 50, which is what? 300. And what about day 3? How many chickens the farmer sold? 1, 2, 3. 3 times 50 is 150. And day 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 times 50 is 250. And then finally the day 5, which is 4, and 4 times 50 is 200 chickens. See that? And there you go, right there. So very important, okay? For vertical, all the data are vertical, all right? Okay, and the bottom is going to be, that's where you put the days, all right, the category. So you make sure you put a column, so this way all for the day 1, all the data is in column 1, and day 2, column 2, column 3, column 4, and column 5. Be sure to label that, so that way we know what this pictogram represents. All right, and another very important thing is right there, the key, because you need to know each picture of the chicken represent how many chickens. All right, by looking at this pictograph, what can you tell? What day is the most profitable day for the farmer? Day 2. See that? Because that's the day where he sold the most chicken. All right, what about the least profitable day? Okay, in other words, day 3, in other words, that's the day that he sold less chicken. All right, he only sold 150 chickens. But on day 2, he sold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 times 50, which is 300 chickens. See that? So if I ask you what's the common number of chickens that he sells in 5 days, which would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That means 200 is the common number of chicken. All right? All right, my dear student. Okay, well, Mr. Mac erase the board and put all the chickens away, and then we will do problem number 2. And I'll be back with you in a few seconds. Alright, my dear students, are you ready for problem number 2? Alright, let's do it together, okay? Problem number 2 say use the pictogram below to answer the following questions, alright? So which is Mr. Max already got the pictogram which you saw during the break where Mr. Mac putting this together, okay? And this is the pictogram. Now, what type of pictogram is it shown below? Okay, which is shown on the board. Very good. It's horizontal. You notice that? All the data are arranged in a horizontal way. So for A, it's a horizontal. Okay, horizontal pictogram. Okay, see that? Horizontal. All right, because earlier you noticed that on the first question you constructed the vertical and you had everything what? All the columns was vertical. See that? When it's horizontal, the columns are horizontal. Okay, that's very important when you construct. Okay, when you line them up. See that? When I have 4 okay of the pictures for school A, now when I go to B, make sure you line them up. Okay, see that? Line them up all in order. That way you can see by looking at the graph, this would be the most. All right, okay, that which is that's why I want you to notice that. Okay, all right, so the first question was what type of pictogram is shown below? It's a horizontal pictogram. All right, okay, good. Now B, each picture represent how many students? So each pictures represent how many students? Right there, you look at the key. Okay, this is called key. All right, so KEY, this is a key, which is what? Each picture represent 150 students. All right, so B will be 150 students. This is where you find it. All right, okay, 150 students. That means this is 150, 150, 150, 150, not 4 students. 150 times 4. Okay, so now C, which school enrolled the least number of students? So least, by looking at the graph and see which one has the least number of pictures. Right there, only got 2. That means you 2 times, exactly, 2 times 150, which gives you 300. Okay, so for C, which says which school enrolled the least number of students. All right, they're not asking for the frequency, they're asking for the which school. School E. All right, so school E is the least. All right, and then which school enrolled the most number of students. All right, which one would that be? The one that sticks out the most. In this case, this is the one sticks out. You can see that. All right, see that? Okay, so this one sticks out compared to that one. All right, that means school C. Okay, so for D, school C. All right, so school C. Okay, so and then what frequency is most common? What frequency is most common? That means you want to see which one that repeats. All right, which is also called mode. All right, the one repeats. Look at that, this two repeats twice. That's the only one. Right? Other than that, they only repeats once. Right, 3 and 3. 4 repeats once, 5 repeats once, 2 repeats once. So 3. Okay, that means, is it 3? No, you said 3 times 150. Okay, so 3 times 150, which is very good, 450. So E. So that because they're asking what frequency is most common? 450. 450 is the frequency. Okay. Okay. Now we're looking at F. What is the frequency for school A? So school A, right there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Is it 4 students? No. 4 times 150, which is very good, 600 students. Okay, so school A, okay, they're asking what is the frequency for school A, which is 600. Okay, right there. Pretty easy, isn't it? Very straightforward, right there. Okay, so it's very important. You got to look at the key, all right? The key, which is represent 150 students. So based on that, each picture represent 150. Okay, so there you go. And this is the horizontal. Why is it horizontal? See, the columns all set up horizontal, and then all the frequency, all the data are lined up horizontal. Okay, all right, my dear students, and this is on the part on pictogram. Okay, so let's head out to the next part, which we're going to talk about the bar chart. Okay, or we also can call it a bar graph. All right, my dear student, I'll be with you in a few seconds. Let me, Mr. Mac, erase and put all the students away, and I'll be back and we'll learn more about bar chart. I'll be back. Alright, my dear students, now in this part of the sub lesson, we're going to talk about the bar chart. Now you notice that in the pictogram, it takes a lot of time. You notice that the Mac was pasting all those pictures. Well, it does take a lot of time, but that's where the bar chart comes in. Bar charts, you draw the bars. Either you draw vertically or horizontally. Okay, now the length of the bar indicates the size of the data. All right, okay, now I want you to look at some of the samples of bar charts. Okay, in other words, also can call bar graph. Here it is, the first one. Look at that. All right, and there's another second one, and then third one. Okay, good. Now we're going to learn how to construct a bar graph or a bar chart. Okay, so in order to construct a bar chart, we need to have what? The data. In other words, frequency table. Okay, so let's have a table with the information, with the data in it. Okay, and give me a few seconds. Mr. Mac's going to have the table on the board, and then we'll learn how to construct a bar chart. And I'll be back within a few seconds. Alright, my dear student, Mr. Mac got a table here on the board. Now this time Mr. Mac included one more age, which is 19 years old. Alright, now this one we took a survey in a hockey team, okay, based on the ages and how many uses the handphones. So in this case, Mr. Mac got age 15, and there are 2 of them. Age 16, 7. Age 17, 5. Age 18, 5. Age 19, 6. And we want to take this data, this frequency, and convert them and construct them into a bar chart. Now, how do we do a bar chart? The same idea, the same principle. Now, that's the way we did with the pictogram. Now we start with the horizontal and vertical. Okay, now keep in mind there's a two type of bar chart. One is the vertical and one is the horizontal. Okay, let's start with the vertical. Okay, so again, like Mr. Max said, we want to draw two axes. We're going to do the x-axis, all right, which is the horizontal, and then we're going to do the y-axis. Okay, and what type of a bar chart we're going to construct? A vertical. Okay, so let's put that down. Okay, we're going to create a vertical. All right, so vertical bar chart. So if we want to do a vertical bar chart, okay, once you construct the x-axis and y-axis, you need to decide which part of the axis represent what. All right, so let's start with the x-axis. Now the x-axis will represent the age, okay, the category. All right, so we're going to say the age is going to be the x-axis. Now the y-axis, it's the one that's going to represent the frequency, the data. All right, always keep in mind the frequency. If you put the frequency as the vertical, okay, it's going to be a vertical bar chart. If you put the frequency on the horizontal, it's going to be a horizontal, because the bar is going to be based on the frequency, because the height, the length of the bar. See that? Okay, so now we have to scale the y-axis. Okay, so this one's age and this one's going to be the phones. All right, okay, phone usage. Okay, we just put a hand phone. Let's just put a hand phone. All right, so this is represent the hand phones. Okay, all right, and that one represent the ages. Okay, all right, good. So now we have 2, 7, 5, 5 and 6. So the highest is 7. So that means we're going to scale it, let's say up to 8. All right, so we're going to scale it. All right, let's scale up. Okay, I'm going to put this straight edge, and then I'm just going to put it. Okay, looks like it goes all the way up there, so we're going to use half of that. All right, let's do that. Okay, so this one is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so just stop right there. Okay, so we scaled it. All right, so that means this is going to be 1, this is going to be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, now we're going to categorize them. Okay, so let's scale that one too, so that way we know. So once you created this scale right there, so you know you're going to put the bar graph, the bar in between those, so that way you know that each, okay, kind of fall in between, so that way it doesn't go over. All right, so it's like a cosmetic. All right, you're kind of like trying to do it so it looks nice. All right, so it won't be round off and all that. Okay, so we know we're going to put the bars right in middle right there, so it looks very nice. Okay, so each section represent the age. Okay, so the first one's going to be for 15, and second one's going to be 16, 17, 18 and 19. All right, so now let's represent the 15. 15 is 2, so that's going to be right here. All right, it's going to be right here, so I'm going to draw a bar right there. Okay, right, shows to the 2, so I'm just going to put a bar right there. Okay, see that? We drew a bar for 15, which shows the 2 right there. Okay, and then for 16 is 7, so we're going to put this one right to where the 7 is. All right, sometimes if it helps you, then just put a construction line, so that way you know the bar is going to be up to there. All right, so put 7 right there. Okay, for 15 is 16 is 7, so all right. Okay, see that? For 16 is 7. All right, now let's go for 17 is 5. So 5 is right there. Okay, oops. 5 is right there, so draw a construction line right there. So that's going to help you. Okay, so 17 is going to be on the 5. So center it, so it looks nice. So it's very important that when you draw the graph, okay, you construct the graphs, okay, or the bar chart, you look very nice. Because let's say when you work for a company, okay, you're doing a presentation, okay, of course you'll be using the computer, but if you have to do hand drawn or things like that, you want to look nice when you show it to your boss or you show it to your customer, okay, and you're doing a presentation to a big company that you're trying to get a contract with them. and you got to be impressive, okay? The drawing should look nice, and it should be readable. Am I right? That's very important. You create it. It's a very nice graph. All right? Okay, good. Now for 18 is 5. Okay, so 5 is right there. So we're going to extend this construction line, so that way we know where the for 18 is going to be. So 18 is 5. So we're going to draw a bar for that one. Okay, right there. And then for 19 is 6. So it's going to be right here, 6. Okay. Right, that's for 19. There we go. Right there. And then we're going to just join this one right there, and then we can erase those construction line, okay? So that won't confuse. Right? Okay, there we go. Right, we can erase those lines right there. See that? That's the bar chart. Now look at that, how beautiful it is. Okay, now by looking at the bar chart, you can tell. If I ask you what age uses the most handphone, the longest bar, which is a 7, which is what, age 16, they use the most handphone. What about the least? Look for the shorter one, age 15. See that? And if I ask you what age is a common, okay, now frequency, 17 and 18, or what is the common frequency, which is 5. Okay, all right, see that? So this is how you construct a bar chart. All right, okay, very important. Okay, and also you should be able to analyze the chart. If I ask you any question by looking at the chart, you should be able to answer. Just like what Mr. Mac asked you, the least, the most, okay, the common, the difference between the most and the least. So you take the difference between the most and the least frequency. All right, my dear student. And it's another major thing Mr. Mac forgot to do. What was it? Exactly, I forgot to label this. This bar chart need to be labeled. We need to know what is this bar chart represent. Okay, so we're going to say handphone users. Okay, so handphone users based on age. Based on age. All right, and this one is the handphone users. Okay, so it's going to be handphone users. All right, so the handphone users based on age, and that's how this bar chart represent. All right, now let's talk about the scale here. Now in this case, Mr. Mac kind of give you a smaller scale, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. You can represent what happens if the number gets bigger. Let's say if this one becomes 20 70 50 50 60, and you do the same thing with the scale. Rather than starting with the 1, you start with the 10 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. See that? Okay. Now what happens if I have another age, let's say 20, and that one comes to about 35. Okay, 35. So what do you do? Okay. So you create, so look for 35 right there. So you create a construction line right there, and then put the bar right there for 35. So you know it's going to be right in the middle between 30 and 40. See that? Okay, so you should be able to, okay, customize the scale based on the frequency. It's very important. All right? Okay, good. All right, my dear students, you should be ready for hands-on practice. Let's see what Pablo's doing. Ha ha ha, he's busy. He's ahead of Mr. Mac. He's busy putting the hands-on practice together. Okay? Okay, good. Well, let Mr. Mac erase the board, and then we'll call Pablo, and we'll have fun with the hands-on practice. Okay? So I'll be back in a few seconds. Alright, my dear students, are you ready for some hands-on practice? I know you are. Well, let's call Pablo, alright? Okay, Pablo, Pablo, come on over, Pablo, come on over. Our dear students are ready for some hands-on practice. And here's our Pablo, my dear students, and he has the worksheet, and he's going to hand over the worksheet and have fun with it. And once you're done, come back and invite Mr. Mac in. And be sure to pause the video, okay? And here it is, have fun. Oh, good. All right, my dear students, let's do it, okay? And before that, how do you do? Pretty easy, isn't it? Pretty straightforward. Okay, good. Well, come on over. Let's do it together this time, okay? Now, the first question says the table below shows the number of students visiting the school library in 5 days. All right, and here Mr. Mac already got the frequency table up on the board. Okay, so right here, the day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So you got Monday 65 people, and then Tuesday you got 70 students, Wednesday you got 80, and Thursday 45, and finally on Friday we got only 15 students. Must be because Friday everybody wants to go home, all right, for the weekend. Okay, good. Now we want to construct a horizontal bar chart to represent the data. Okay, so remember we're going to do the horizontal. The keyword is horizontal. So how do we do that? So that means the bar is going to be in a form of horizontal. That's what it is. Okay, so in order to construct a bar chart, what are the first thing we should do? Construct the horizontal and vertical axis. In other words, x-axis and y-axis. Okay, so let's draw the x-axis. All right, right here we got the x-axis, and then we're going to draw the y-axis. Okay, now when you do the horizontal, okay, when you're doing the horizontal, the bar is going to be in horizontal, so the frequency is going to be in horizontal. See that? Because the length of the bar is based on the frequency. See that? So we're going to put the frequency on the x-axis. Okay, so you're given 65, 70, 80, 45, 15. So I can do 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. See that? To accommodate all these frequencies. Okay, so let's do that. Let's scale them. All right, so we're going to put all of them by, let's say this is, let's say we group by 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay, so that means we're going to cut them, we're going to put it in the middle, right, in the middle right there. Okay, we're going to scale it such a way, right there. Okay, so that means this one's going to be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. All right, okay, good. Okay, that's going to be our frequency. Okay, that's the number of students. Okay, so that's the number of students. Okay, we're going to put number of students, and this one's going to be our day. Okay, so we're going to put our day. So we're going to put it such a way. Let's put the how many days? The 5 days. Okay, let's put 5 okay sections. Okay, this is going to be first one, second one, third one, fourth one, and then fifth. Okay, so we're going to put right there, the first one is going to be Monday, okay, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday. Okay, all right, like that. Okay, and then what are we going to do next? Exactly, now we're going to label it. Okay, what's the question says? The question says shows the number of students visiting the school library. Okay, so we're going to label this as number of students visiting the school library. Okay, see that? So that way we know what this bar chart represents. Very important. Okay, you gotta label that. So once you get all this in, now we can start exactly take the frequency and convert that into a bar. All right, let's start with Monday. Monday is 65. So you know this is 60 and 70. 65 is right in the center. So let's put a construction line. Okay, so let's put a construction line. Okay, so it's going to be right there. So we're going to put this straight edge right there, and then we're going to draw the bar. All right, so it's this straight edge kind of helps to create the bar for Mr. Mac. All right, right there. Okay, and then we're going to make the 65 is right there. Okay, let's erase the construction line. Okay, right there, that's 65. Okay, and then Tuesday it's 70. Okay, so 70 is right there, so let's draw a construction line for 70. Okay, so it's going to be right there, so we're going to position the straight edge up to that construction line and then draw the bar right there. Draw the bar and then join those two parallel lines, and then we're going to erase the construction line. Okay, and then Wednesday is 80, so 80 is going to be right there, so again we're going to draw a construction line. Okay, and then we're going to put for Wednesday 80. Alright, okay, and then join those two lines and then erase those construction lines. And then Thursday is 45. 45 is between 40 and 50. It's right in the center. And then create a construction line for 45. Okay. Then put the bar. Alright, right there. And then right there. And then join those two lines. And then erase that. And then Friday is 15. 15 is right there. Okay. Alright, so again we're going to draw the construction line for 15 right there. Okay, so we're going to put that one right there and then join that two lines right there. See that? Look at that. And that is the horizontal bar chart. Very good. Right there. Okay, see that? So very important for horizontal bar chart versus the vertical bar chart, the frequency, where you put the frequency. For horizontal, you make the frequency also horizontal. For vertical, you put the frequency also vertical. Okay, see that? Now you can analyze this graph. You can tell on what day is the most busiest day in the library. What day is that? It's going to be on Wednesday. Alright? What day the librarian can take a nap. I'm just kidding, alright? It's on Friday because there's not many students there, okay? Alright, my dear students, let Mr. Mac erase the board and we'll do problem number 2 and I'll be back with you in a few seconds. Alright, my dear students, you're ready for problem number 2. How did you do? It was quite a challenging, wasn't it? But that's good. I want to challenge my dear student and you still did it. Am I right? Good job. I'm so proud of you. It was a challenging problem, okay? But let's do it together, okay? So this way we can understand better. Alright, the problem number 2 says the table below shows the number of boys and girls in use of computer in a computer room for the last 3 months of the year. Alright, so Mr. Mac got the table right here. Alright, shows the month of October, boys 65 of them, girls used it 75, and then November, boys 70 and girls 50. December, boys 30 and girls 90. Okay, now in this part, the question 2, we want to construct a vertical, okay, or vertical dual bar chart to represent the 2 sets of data. See, there you got 2 sets of data. Alright, you're comparing boys and girls for October, you're comparing boys and girls for November, you're comparing boys and girls for December. Alright, let's do that. So how do we do a dual set of data like this? It's going to be fun. Let's do it, okay? So first step is what? We're going to put the x-axis and y-axis, okay? Now remember, what type of graph they wanted to construct, bar chart they want us to construct? Vertical, okay? That means the frequency is going to be vertical side of the axis, which is the y-axis, alright? So let's do that. Let's first draw the y and x-axis, or x and y-axis, whichever you want to do first, okay? Doesn't matter, alright? So there we go. And then which side's going to be the frequency? The y-axis. Why y-axis? Because we want a vertical bar chart. Okay, so let's put a scale to it. Okay, so first let's look at that. 65, 75, 70, 50, 30, 90. So I can do 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Okay, so let's put a scale to that. All right, so we're going to say, okay, so we're going to say, let's see. All right, so it's going to be 20, 40, 60, 80, and then 100. Okay, so let's do that. This is 20, 40, 60, 80, 100 right there. And then in between it's going to be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and 100 right there. Okay, so we're going to put 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 right there. Okay, and the category is going to be the exactly, they're going to be the what again? The x-axis. Okay, now remember we got dual data, so we're going to create dual bar. All right, so let's do that. Let's make it bigger. All right, so we're going to put right there, so that way we can put 2 bars in there. Okay, make it longer and then right there. All right, okay, so now let's start with the October. Okay, so this is going to be for October, and this is going to be for November, and this is going to be for December. Okay, all right, okay, let's do that. Okay, let's start with the boys. 65. Now remember, we're going to create 2 bars next to each other, because for October we got boys and girls. So let's start with the boys. 65. 65 is right there. Okay, in between 60 and 70. Okay, so let's draw the construction line. So 65. All right, and then for, okay, so let's draw the bar for 65, and that's going to be for the boy, for the boys right there. Okay, and then we're going to join those 2 lines right there, and then we're going to erase the construction line. All right, and that's for the boys, and the girls is 75. So 75 is going to be right there. All right, so let's draw the construction line for 75. Okay, so it's going to be right there. Okay, now you want to join them. All right, the 2 bars going to attach together like this. Okay, so now just going to draw that line right there, and then right there, and then join that 2 lines right there. See that? And then you want to shade one of them. Okay, let's say we decided to shade the girl. All right, let's shade the girl. So that means we know this is for the girls. All right, so that's for the boy, the unshaded for the boys and the shaded for the girls. Now let's go for the November. November is 70 for the boys. So 70 right there. So let's do the construction line for 70. Okay, so it's going to be right there. Okay, so let's put there for boys. Bar right there, the bar is right there. Okay, then I'm going to join those 2 lines, and then erase the construction line right there. Okay, and then for girls it's 50. Okay, so 50 is right there, so we're going to put 50. The construction line is going to be right there. Okay, so I'm just going to put it right there. Okay, that's going to be 50 right there. Okay, and then we're going to shade it. See that? That's for the girls, so we know that. See that? So you can differentiate. All right, for the boys bar and the girls bar. Okay, and then for December, the boys is 30 right there. 30. Okay, okay, so 30 is right there. Okay, so we're going to put the construction line for 30, and then we're going to put the bar for the boys. Okay, then we're going to erase the construction line, and then for girls is 90. So 90 is right there. Okay, right, 90 is right there. And then we're going to join the line right there. Okay, we're going to erase the construction right there. Okay, And what I need to do now, I have to shade the bar for the girls. That's right, because that way we know all the shaded bars are for the girls. Okay, now again over here you have to tell, okay, put up 2 boxes, one unshaded and one for the shade. The shaded you want to put girls, and the unshaded you want to put boys. So this way we know this is represent the boys bar, and this one represents the girls. Very important, see that? Okay, when you have a dual bars, okay, you're setting a dual data, you have to label them. You have to shade them and label them like that, like a key. Okay, so we know this is for the boys and this is for the girls. Now look at this. Now what else is missing? The label. We can label the bar chart. Okay, so this is what the table shows the usage. Okay, the usage of computer in a computer room. Okay, so let's say usage. Okay, usage of, okay, another word, number of boys and girls. Okay, number of boys and girls, usage of computer. There you go, there you go, number of boys and girls. Okay, usage of computers. Okay, usage of computers. All right, there we go. So right there we constructed a vertical bar chart with a dual data. See that? Pretty easy, isn't it? Very straightforward. Now, looking from the chart, from the bar chart, we should be able to answer B. That B says, on which month has the highest usage for the boys? Which month for boys? And we know the boys are this one. So which month is the highest? The one with the longest bar, which is the November. Okay, so this is A. Okay, this is problem number 2. Okay, so B. So which month? The highest usage for the boys? November. Okay, so B is November. And then C. What is the total usage for the girls in last 3 months? The total usage. So we know that this is all the girls. Okay, so, and we also have the data here, the girls, 75, 50 and 90. So the total usage is going to be 75 plus 50 plus 90, and that's going to be our total usage. Now keep in mind, if I didn't give you the frequency table, you should be able to deviate from the bar chart. Okay, so the girls right there, okay, 75, and this one it's 50, and that one is 90. See that? So 75 plus 50 plus 90. Okay, so 75 plus 50, so let's line it up. 75 plus 50, 5 plus 0 is 5, 7 plus 5 is 12. Okay, and then we're going to add that with 90, so we're going to be using the pairing method. Okay, so then 125 plus 90, so 5 plus 0 is 5, 2 plus 9 is 11, 1 carry 1, 1 plus 1 is 2, so it's 215 students. Okay, girls, I should say girls. So 215 girls. Okay, that's the total. Okay, or the total usage for the girls in last 3 months. All right, which is 215 girls. All right, and then D, calculate the percentage of boys using the computer for the month of December. The percentage. Okay, comparing to the girls. All right, so for the month of December, so we know what is the boys usage is 30. All right, so we want to find the percentage for the month of December. What is the total usage, boys and girls? 30 plus 90. All right, so let's do D right there. Okay, first you take the total, which is 30 plus 90 gives you 120. To find the percentage for the boys, you take the boys number, which is 30, you divide that by the total number of students that used the computers in the computer lab, all right, which is 120, and you times that with 100%, right there, and you simplify. You can cancel 0 and 0 cancels out. Okay, so 3, or another word, so this one can be divided by 3, this one can be divided by 3, which is give you what? 1 over 12 divided by 3 is 4 times 100%. Then you can divide 4, this one by 4, you can divide this by 4, and that makes it this one to be 1, and this one becomes 25. So 1 times 25% is 25% right there, 25%. Okay, so the usage, the percentage for the boys usage for the month of December is 25% right there, 25%. Okay, keep in mind when you're finding the percentage, you take the number of the boys, okay, or the one you're looking for, and you divide by the total, and you times it with 100%. All right, so there you go, the number of boys, because we're looking for the boys, and then we divide that by 120, which is, how do I get 120? 90 plus 30. For the month of December, there are 120 students using the computer, and then we multiply the 100%, because we want it in the form of percentage. When you want it in the form of percentage, you multiply that with 100%. Now what about if I want to find the percentage for girls? So I take 90 over 120 times 100%, which will give me 75%, because 100%, 100 minus 25 will give you 75. All right, and even if you do 90 over 120 times 100% will give you 75 also, 75%. All right, good. That's the end of the question. All right, my dear student, well done, and I'm so proud of you. All right, let's go to the next part of the sub lesson. Okay, so we're going to talk about the line graph. All right, okay, I'll be back with you and we'll talk more about the line graph, and I'll be see you in a few seconds. In this part of the sub lesson, we're going to talk about line graph, represent data using line graphs. Now usually line graphs represent data that changes over a period of time. That's very common, especially when you want to show your profit over a certain time or period, okay, or even the income or the stock. Okay, but sometimes you can also use the measurements like the length or the temperature or even the mass, okay, so over a period of time as well. So in this part of the sub lesson, I want to use stock as a way to explain line graphs. Now what is stock? Before I explain to you what is stock means, let me show you some of the line graph that stock has been utilized. All right, here is one of them. Look at that, the way the trends, see that? Okay, there's another one right there, okay, and here's another one right here. All right, okay, good. Now let Mr. Mac explain to you what's stock. Okay, let's say for example you want to open a restaurant. Okay, now you need, let's say, 100,000 ringgits, but you don't have the 100,000 ringgit. So what you do is you divide that 100,000 ringgit into 1,000 parts. So that means what? Each parts represent exactly. So you need 100,000 and you're dividing that into 1,000 parts. So each parts represent 100 ringgits. That means you're creating 1,000 shares and you're selling those 1,000 shares so that people buy it for 100 ringgits. So when you get your 100,000, okay, so your share worth, well, how much? 100 ringgit. Okay, so let's say for example when you start doing your business is doing really well and you start creating profit, so the profit you divide that into 1,000. So the 1,000 people who bought your shares will get the profit. So because let's say your profit is 50,000, you divide that 50,000 into 1,000. That means what? Each share worth 50 ringgits. Okay, so they get the 50 ringgits as a dividend. The share still worth 100 ringgits. Now even the share can goes up, so the share's value can go to, let's say from 100 ringgit it can go to 150 ringgits or 200 ringgit, but doesn't go that fast. Okay, it goes in a very gradual. All right, see that? So you can say, so that's why you see the graph. All right, the line graph, the way it's as the time goes, it can go up, goes up, or you can even, there's nobody one goes to your restaurant or there's not many, what happened? The stock will drop. See that? So that's why you want to keep track the stock market and look at the graph, the way the trend, and sell it according when the trend is going up, because you don't want to sell it when it's going down because you will lose money. You want to sell it when it goes up, so that way you will get a profit out of that. All right, my dear students. Okay, so much about stock. All right, Mr. Max is going to set up a frequency table, sort of like a stock approach. Okay, and then we will convert that into a line graph, and I'll be back with you in a few seconds. Alright, my dear student, Mr. Mac got a frequency table here. Okay, what I did is I created for 5 days the stock price that changes from day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4 and day 5. Okay, so it started with 10 ringgits and then it went up to 12 ringgits on day 2 and then it went down to 9 ringgits on day 3 and then suddenly it shoot up again up to 13 ringgits on day 4 and then it dropped slightly on day 5 to 12 ringgit. See that? So that's a trend. Alright, so let's express this in a form of line graph. So in order to draw a line graph, again we'll need a straight edge. Okay, so first thing, what do we do again? Exactly, in all those graphs that so first thing, we'll need a straight edge. Okay, so we're going to start with what? Exactly, we're going to draw a horizontal line, or which is also we're going to call it as the x-axis, and then a vertical line which will be the y-axis. Okay, all right, now always keep in mind on your x-axis, okay, or the horizontal line, you always want to represent the period, the time. Okay, so in this case we're going to do the day. All right, so we're going to scale it. So we got 5 days, so let's measure 5 days. Okay, so let's put this one right here. Okay, look like right there. Okay, so we're going to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so Mr. Mac's going to draw a bit longer. So we got 1 right there, 2 right there, and then okay, so put 1, 2, 3, 4, so 5. Okay, so this is represent the days. All right, and then this one we're going to represent the price. Okay, so we get to do that 10 ringgits, 12, 9, 13 and 12 ringgits. Okay, we're going to scale the y-axis from 1 to 13. Okay, so let's do that, 1 to 13. Okay, so we're going to measure this up to 13. All right, so let's do a line right here. All right, so let's say this one is 4, 8, 12, 16. Okay, so that means we're going to put, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, right there. All right, so now we can say this one is going to be let's say 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Right there. All right, scaling is very important. Okay, based on the frequency that was provided. All right, now and then we're going to say this is the ringgits. All right, the price. All right, so the price in ringgit, so we can put the price, the stock price. There you go, the stock price. Okay, in ringgits. All right, okay, good. So once we've done that, we want to label this line graph. So what are we going to call that? So we're going to call stock price for 5 days. Okay, so stock price for 5 days. All right, so now what are we going to do? We're going to plot this into the line graph. Okay, so we're going to treat, now look at this, this is your days. So day 1, now day 1 is 10 ringgits, that's the value of the stock. So you want to look for where it intercepts. In other words, it's going to be right here. So let's put a construction line. Okay, so we want to find the intercept between 1 and 10 right there. That's going to be your right there. Okay, the first point. Your second point is going to be 12 for day 2. So day 2, you want to find the intercept between 2 and 12. 2 and 12 right there. Now if you have a graph paper, it'll be a lot easier. Okay, if you don't, if you're using a blank paper like this, you can use a straight edge and look for the intercept between vertical line to 2 and horizontal line to 12. See that? That's our second point. And then the third day, it's a 9 ringgit. So we're going to find 9 is right there. Okay, so we're going to draw a construction line, horizontal construction line and a vertical construction line from day 3. Okay, the point of intercept is right there, and that's your day 3. Okay, 9 ringgits. Then day 4 is 13 ringgits. Okay, so 13 ringgit is right there. So we're going to create a construction line right there, and then another construction line shooting up vertically from day 4. Okay, right there. Okay, and that's another one right there. And then day 5 is 12 ringgit. Okay, so it's a 12 ringgit right there. Okay, 12 ringgits right there. So we're just going to extend that line, and then we're going to draw another vertical line from day 5. Okay, right there. So once you locate the points, you just join them right there. Can you see the trend, how the graph goes? All right, now let's do another one. Okay, let's say for example we have another stock. Okay, let's say this is stock A price. Okay, let's go for stock B. Okay, let's say stock B this time. Okay, our starting price is from day 1 is, let's say, 4 ringgits. All right, so 4 ringgits, and it was looking really good. It shoot up to 7 ringgit, and then it went up again to 15 ringgit, and then something happened. It just dropped. Okay, the stock just dropped. Okay, it dropped up to 4 ringgit, and then it went up to 5 ringgit. Okay, so let's graph that. So how do that? So let's start with the day 1. Day 1 is 4 ringgit. Okay, so day 1 is 4. It's going to be right there. So we're going to put a right there. That's the day 1 right there. Okay, and day 2 is 7 ringgit. So day 2, 7 is right there. So we're going to right there, day 2 right there. So let's put an X in this one. And then day 3, it should up to 15 ringgit. So day 3 is 15 ringgits. So it's going to be right here. Okay, and then day 4 is 4 ringgit. So day 4 is 4 ringgit. It's right there. It dropped. Okay, it dropped from 15 ringgit to 4 ringgit. Okay, so let's make sure. Day 4 is 4 ringgit. All right, right there. Okay, and then day 5 is 5 ringgit. Okay, day 5 is 5 ringgit, and it's right there. Okay, so now let's join the points. Okay, so right there. See that? How the line graph shows? Okay, see the trend? And you can tell, if I were to ask you what would be the best time to sell the stock? Day 3, because you purchased at 4 ringgit, and look at that, it's worth 15 ringgit. So if you had sold it on the day 3, you would have made exactly on the first day you subtract out of the third day, which is 15 minus 4. That gives you 11 ringgit of profit. See that? See, that's how you interpret this graph, line graph. All right, and this is how you construct them. And the same way, the way we learn on our bar graph. Okay, so, and here's a line graph. We express in a form of line. Okay, because the price is changing as the time go from 1 day to second day. See that? The price is changing as the time goes and reach to the 7 ringgit, and then from 7 ringgit to 15 ringgit, it's changing. So in other words, from second day to third day, and in between that hours, the stock is increasing. Okay, so anytime at this moment when you're selling, you will get for that price. And the end of the day when the stock closes, which would be the third day, and the stock value was 15 ringgits. And that's the time. The ideal time is to sell when the stock is going up like this, not that way. But you still, if you notice the trend is going down this way, it would be ideal to sell somewhere along here too, because you don't want to wait too long until it drop down. So you can sell somewhere around here or somewhere here. See that? So that's how the stock markets, okay, the stock brokers, okay, they look at this trend, they look at this line graph, they decide when to sell, when to buy the stock. So see that, my dear students. So the biggest thing is I want you to understand is how to construct with a given frequency table into a line graph. Okay, so the key thing is make sure you know that this is the time. Always the time is on the x-axis and the frequency is going to be on your y-axis, okay? And then once you've done that, so pretty much you're treating, like say for example, the time as your x and the frequency as your y. So time is the x, the frequency as your y, okay? So by doing like this, so 110, see that? 110, so 110, see that? And then this one is 212, and then this one is 3:9, 4:13, and then 5:12. See that as a x, and this is a y, or another word, horizontal, and this is the vertical. Okay, so always horizontal and then vertical. All right, so keep in mind. Okay, all right, good. So I'm glad you know how to plot this into a line graph. Okay, good. Well, my dear student, they should prepare you for the quiz. Okay, there won't be any hands-on practice. All right, my dear student, and this is the end of the sub-lesson, also the end of the lesson, and also the end of the syllabus for Form 2. Mr. Mac really enjoyed being with you for all this time. Wow, 13 lessons we spent together, and you've been a great student. I'm so proud of you. And that's why you're the best. And that's why Mr. Mac wanted to only bring the best for you, because you deserve the best. And you're very special and very dear to Mr. Mac. For this last 13 lessons that we spent, we created a bond, student and a teacher. And I want to continue that. I want that continue to Form 3. Come and see Mr. Mac in Form 3, because I'll be here. And I want to spend time with you, and I want to make you better in mathematics. And I want to wish you the best for your Form 2. Be sure to go back and review. If you think there are certain lessons you are not doing well or struggling, spend more time. The key to do well in each lesson and each sub-lesson is to do the hands-on practice and also the quiz. That's the best way to learn. You learn with Mr. Mac, you listen what Mr. Mac have to explain. Then you have to put your hands to it, to practice on your own. Alright, my dear student. I want to wish you the best, because you are the best. Bye-bye.